Okay. Ready? Okay. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Present Chairperson, myself, Brenda Sweet, Jeremy Whitaker, and Ben Bear, committee members, and Kevin Seifert also. And visiting, sort of, kind of, the mayor. And the purpose of the meeting is compensation, salary ranges, and a possible title change for one of the positions. And the mayor has asked for an executive session with the committee real quick before we go any further, so I'll need a motion for that.
It's for the purpose to.
For the purpose of
discuss the employment. Compensation of village employees.
Okay. Compensation and employment of village employees. Purpose. Motion,
So moved.
Jeremy.
I'll second.
Second by Ben. And the time is 1:07. Okay, and we'll step next door and then we'll be right back. He said it'll take less than 5 minutes.
I'll move that we come out of executive session.
I'll second.
I watch it. Okay, we're back in 1:35. And so, take a minute to see if we have that. Kevin, do you happen to have the range list that the mayor had?
The
From
2020 or the current
I
wages?
guess it was three, he said 3 years ago, so
Well, his was the new one that
the newer one.
whoever had sent to us to.
We're from Ohio Plan
Yeah.
Oh,
with their range increases. and
Yeah,
then-
their recommendations.
And then his 3% bonus
Right.
is on the side.
on the side.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess we don't really necessarily need that unless you guys have any changes you want to make to it. But we're going to have to recommend it to council regardless.
Yeah.
So, but we will need a copy for that, to do
Right.
that. So,
So yeah, if we can just have that for our next
if you can
council
get a
meeting.
copy.
That's what he had there,
from-
but,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
have that for a council
Yes,
meeting?
Yep.
for
Okay.
council meeting. And then, so that one, we decided that we want to recommend that one, correct?
Yeah. And we can have that discussion with all of council.
Right. And then, the title change is the other reason we're here.
Yes, and I guess it was passed by the committee. We found the notes for the title change for Christie, but it was never,
And did we take that to council and discuss that?
Wasn't that from a previous meeting?
It was from a previous council.
October
meeting, I
18th,
think.
2022. It says that a motion was made to recommend title change from administration assistant to assistant administrator.
Right, and I think we took it to council, and I can't recall what happened after that, so that discussion needs to happen again, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, but with
Because
no
I do remember that us talking about it in one of these meetings,
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
saying we would take it to council, and I can't remember
I don't remember
what
I'm not sure if
council
it
as a
came up
whole.
in council.
It did,
Did it?
yeah.
But I don't.
But I
think
don't, I
was-
don't know if it really came up as, do we want to make this change, or, because we were in the middle of the whole,
The compensation package.
Right.
Or the, right.
Everything's kind of blended together.
Yeah,
But
we
I know
didn't-
that
we
it
didn't wanna-
wasn't voted on at council.
right,
Right,
right.
right, because we didn't want to do that. So, do we want to recommend that, and was there anything to,
So these are good, though. These,
The job descriptions that you have are the latest and greatest.
so the one specifically for the administrative assistant, or it could be assistant administrator, all of the duties that are performed are in here.
Yes.
Okay.
but just the title change would not change any of that, correct?
believe that was the discussion we had in our meeting.
Right,
We would just change the title
title,
based off of the recommendation of the previous committee
right,
recommendation.
okay. So those are,
But I think we had discussed, you know, with it changing, would that salary range be different in the Ohio plan if they were looking for an assistant administrator salary compared to a administrative assistant or, administrative assistant? Which to me in my head, if you're looking at that in, you know, a spreadsheet, an assistant administrator would make more than an administrative assistant. I
Yeah.
don't like saying all those
okay,
words every
I know
single
it gets
time.
awkward, but
Yeah.
from my understanding, it was a misnomer in the first place.
Right.
Being labeled administrative assistant, so we're
Right.
just correcting that, not, I mean, we don't need to bring the salary in on that, do we? I mean, because if it was a misnomer to begin with, then we're just fixing it, something that should have been fixed before.
I agree. And maybe the salary range that we have could have been a lot higher than what it would have been had we truly had been paying an administrative assistant. Administrative assistant to me, I think I said this in the meeting we had 6 months ago. Just, you know, at Right Pat, an administrative assistant is basically a secretary. We don't have secretaries, we have administrative assistants. So to me, you know, and like I said, the salary range that we have, it could be comparable to, you know, if the Ohio plan looked at assistant administrators. It could be. I just don't know.
From,
You know.
but from what you see of that salary range for that position,
I would assume it's a lot higher than it should be for an administrative assistant.
correct, that's what I was thinking too.
When I say administrative assistant.
Okay.
and what I feel
So
of
we're
that.
basically bringing the title to what the salary is calling for, the title-wise. And actually, her job duty's correct, too, right? Because as an assistant administrator, would that change, that wouldn't change her duties
That's not gonna change
anymore?
her job duties.
Her job duties, okay,
Um,
then I don't think
I
we
mean,
have a
it's-
problem.
She was just inquiring if there was gonna be a, you know, any more pay raise or something, but she's currently making, 27.57, so she's out of the range right now.
Even with that 3% out to the outside. I think she would have been basically right at the top.
Yeah,
Then
well, according to, as of January 2023, she's making 27.57 an hour, and this says that current salary is 26.36. So she's over. So that's going to have to be adjusted. I
But
would
doesn't
think.
her current salary also include her clerk of court money as well?
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah.
So how are they separated, so you know what's what?
On the time card, she
The time
separates
card,
them.
she separates them. So, do we know how much she's making per hour for clerk of courts? Is it different,
Well, and I think.
or is it
I think
all-inclusive?
that's kind of the question. Are they, I know one person is performing both jobs,
Right,
but are there different salaries or wages tied to each of those? I don't know if clerk of courts was even one that was split out.
and, okay, then I think my next question would be, should it be?
Right.
And,
Because in the motion, 2020 motion, I mean, that position, administrative assistant / clerk of courts, it's all combined, you know, it's not.
right, so it's not separated. So if we were to separate it, even for just topic of discussion to see what she's making one place or the other, how would we know how much she was making for either one?
Well,
And
I
I'm
mean,
thinking
I think the decision has to be made by council whether we have to look at the positions, not the person that's currently in them. So
Correct.
would it make sense for the clerk of courts to be the administrative assistant or assistant administrator? Or would it make more sense to have a salary range for an administrative assistant and a clerk of courts? Because there could be a time that we have two different people doing that.
I think that would be wise, and I think
I
it'd be
think-
to our advantage.
I think so too, just in that case.
And then just,
Right.
Down the line, you may
exactly.
have that two different people, like you said.
And actually, didn't we at one point in time,
I think it used to
Yeah.
be like a
Had-
stipend or something for,
I'd have to look back.
maybe not. I can't remember.
because I don't know that any of us have been on council long enough to remember back when it was separate.
Well, I know we had talked about
But we did-
stipends in the
right.
past, and I can't remember if that was one of the ones that,
And I don't remember it being connected to clerk of courts.
but and I don't know how many hours the clerk of court position is used, but maybe we come up with a salary or range for the clerk of courts, have this position separate, and if it's the same person, it would probably alleviate the going over of the top salary. If the top salary is what we've decided, this is what we feel like this position is worth to
Right.
the village, it would probably alleviate that problem that we currently have,
I agree.
because it would be coming from two different
So.
her total salary
so-
would be a certain number, but it would be coming out of two different areas where she may have a little bit more room to grow in the administrative assistant or assistant administrator position.
Right. So it'd be advantageous to both entities, us and her.
And in the
and
future, that it
position.
could be,
Right, because it could
different
be
people.
someone else.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can figure out how much the clerk of courts?
I will check.
Okay.
I'll check. Yeah, I'll check.
I mean, even possible to do two different paychecks. One for this and one for this, and if it's the same person, fine. If it's not,
yeah, I don't know how that would work. I just feel like it would probably be advantageous to us
Mm-hmm.
to probably split those out.
okay. Well, benefits, clerk of court get any benefits? I mean, would we have to determine different benefits for that position? Because clerk of courts would be a part-time position, correct?
Right,
In my.
So there are no benefits for part-time, correct?
right.
with a
other
few
than,
exceptions.
Yeah, a few exceptions.
Okay, so we wouldn't have to think about that. Okay.
Right.
Well, and like I said, I don't know how many hours. I can't see it being 20 hours a week. I wouldn't think.
I don't think so. I mean, I'll have to do some research, check.
So mayor's court is once or twice a month? It's twice a month?
Twice a month,
Twice a month. So there's that time plus whatever
Thursday.
mailings, contact information that she has to do for different people in court.
Mailings, she deals with the citations, that Mike brings them down, she does all that kind of stuff too.
Right, okay. So actually, before we can recommend separating those two entities, we need to get that information? Or we can just do it and then go with that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Good
if
suggestion.
you can come up with the data,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure there was a time where clerk of courts was separated. I don't know. If
I
we
think
have-
so too. I think looking through, I thought I seen some of the old job descriptions where
Right.
there was a job description for the clerk courts. Let me. look
Just if
back.
we have a ballpark salary that it used to be, and obviously it's probably worth more to us now.
Right.
But I have no idea what it would even be. No clue.
But they also, doesn't she?
Well,
have-
right here,
She has
on
a,
that,
oh,
that 2020 motion, clerk of mayor's court, it's 11.75 to 16.50 an hour. That's the range.
Okay.
So that's current. We haven't changed it. The mayor said we haven't changed it since 2020. So So that'd be the current,
Is that the one he's looking at?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
1175 to
There you go. Got it,
1650
yeah.
an hour.
Okay. Well, that's,
But I'll just have to see how many hours, a week that
Right.
entails.
okay.
I mean, I feel like if we have that information, we can discuss it with all of us and
Okay.
try to come up with
So-
something.
We're recommending the ranges. We're recommending the title change.
Are you?
Well, I think we're having a discussion on the,
I'm recommending.
oh,
Bend to council.
recommend to
discussion.
bring it up, yeah, yeah.
To bring it
Recommend
up,
to
bringing it
council,
up, recommending.
Is
And
that?
then-
Yeah, the title change. They'll just have to, I guess, discuss and vote on it. Council will.
And then also separating the mayor's, the clerk of courts from the title of the assistant administrator.
Creating a separate position. yes.
Recreating, if we've got it. I mean, if it's already there.
We must have it because it's on this.
Yeah,
It's spelled out separate on this motion
Right,
back in 20. So
right,
there must
true.
been. I think I've seen the job description of that. Let me research that.
A lot of the stuff in here, I mean, is tied to the mayor's court, though. And the description, I'm saying, essential functions.
Oh, in her description in the. Well, and Kevin, that might be something that you would need to, if we do separate, then you'd have to pull out the two different job descriptions.
Yep.
Is that something that you can
Yep.
do fairly easily?
Mhm.
All right. If you could get that for us, plus the, oh, we got the pay already, but, all right. Anything else, gentlemen?
With that name change, if council decides that, is there a pay increase, or are they gonna talk about that as well?
I would say
we
we
would
would probably
discuss that.
Okay.
discuss that.
Because like I said, she's above the range, so that
But is she above the range because she's getting paid for both currently?
I can't say for sure.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, so that's why we
Okay.
need to,
Because it
to
sounds
see
like
what it would
she's
be.
being compensated for both at the same time.
Okay,
Right,
Right.
which,
To where if we split it out,
right.
then
You
it
know,
may bring it.
her total compensation, I feel like, would be the same, but I feel like there would be room in her administrative assistant or assistant administrator.
Yeah,
in
Under her
that
current
posi-
title.
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, let me help you. She's gonna be helping him, so assisting comes first.
Her range would drop in that one because it would be showing up in the clerk of courts one. So she would still have room in that range, is how I mean, I can see it in my head. I don't,
Yeah.
After an
understand.
evaluation, there's a potential for her to get an increase in salary on that position, and then, because
Right,
even though together it would put her over in that position, it would not.
right.
So she can grow in that position. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then, anything else? Kevin, anything else for you?
I do not.
Okay. Jeremy?
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay.